student athletes. Start with Justin.
Question for both of you guys. I'm sure you guys saw this, but Josh Binguel was named, a 30 under 30 coach, the top 30 coach under 30 years old. From learning or working with him over the last several months, what makes him a good coach in your opinion?
I feel like it's definitely a well-deserved award, preseason award. He's just a great coach, very knowledgeable in like what he does. Just learning from him like all throughout the summer and spring is just I've gained so much just from him specifically and applied it to my game, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I have to agree with Taye. I think that Coach, he doesn't just say like what to do. He's explaining everything while we're doing it. Explaining why we run this defense or why we're doing this technique. Even while we have this foot up. You know what I'm saying? Simple things like that. So I think it's that, and he brings the juice every day. So that's another thing on top of all his great coaching.
Troy and Michael.
Taye, where do you think you've grown most during this training camp? Because I know they talked about you being more of a vocal leader out there on the field. So where do you think your game has developed during this training camp session?
Obviously, besides being more vocal out there on the field, just being more comfortable out there with the defense and like knowing what the D line's doing, knowing what the DBs are doing. So like I can adjust what I'm doing to play to the best of my abilities. I feel like.
Michael and Justin.
Question for both, and then one for Max. What have you guys seen from Levi Sua out there this camp?
He's a great player. He's out there running, flying to the ball. He knows what he's doing, knows how to do it. He's just out there playing ball, playing physical, running through everybody.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Like one thing Levi gonna put his, he gonna put his nose in, on that ball, and he's really physical. And like Taye said, like ever since I got here, I knew that Levi was pretty knowledgeable. He knows the ins and outs of the defense. So that's what I said.
Max, your background is in defensive backfield, right?
Yeah.
Safety
Yeah.
initially. How do you think that helps you being a space linebacker?
I think that the game, the college football game is, it's a lot of passing, so I think that really helps, having a fast linebacker that can play, sideline to sideline, and, getting out my breaks faster than, I guess like a average linebacker would or whatever you want to say. So I think that really helps, and just knowing like passing concepts, route concepts, knowing, what the DBs have to do, I think that really helps me do my job.
Max, Coach Binguel said you're a very deliberate note taker. You guys are watching film. Tell us about the mental process and watching film and just how much value you put in that.
Yeah, so for me, watching film's a big thing, especially, obviously in the meeting is like as far as taking notes, I'm very like clear with exactly like, I don't know, like it makes sense in my head. So, the first thing is, obviously my alignment, my assignment, what are my keys? Those are the first three things that I probably take down. And then what am I expecting? Why are we running the call? What happens? Like, what are the weaknesses of the call? What are the strengths of the call? And all of those things. I think it just makes me feel more confident in the defense, and it helps me play faster. So that's how my brain kind of works with that.
And then for both of you guys, Jabari Mann is another rising prospect in your guys' room. What do you guys seen out of him?
Yeah, he's a young dude, but he knows what to do for sure. He's one of the young dudes that I know we've helped just know the defense and stuff like that. And he's fast out there, so he'll run to the ball. He's not afraid to put his nose on things, and he's out there playing ball, having fun.
I say that also. Barry played running back, at one point, in high school and, a little bit last year. I think that helps as a linebacker. I really do, knowing what the running back might do, knowing where he might, cut, just having that in mind, it kind of helps, being able to foot pattern the back and things like that. So that's what I've seen from Jabari.
Kind of looking ahead, I know you still have a week to go before the season, but you're in a unique position where Hawaii's playing this weekend. So what if you guys are watching the game, what are you looking for? How do you grade that game? How does that help you guys prepare for Hawaii?
I feel like it's definitely huge to see them play a week before, just to see like their tendency and stuff like that. See how their O-line is, their receivers are, running backs, quarterbacks. Just seeing like all their little tendencies and like what they run on these specific downs and stuff like that, and these certain like game situations, things like that.
Yeah, definitely them playing this week is going to help, because it's not about what they had last year. It's about what they're going to have, this year. And so I think it's no better way to, watch the film than to have something from this current year.
Juan and then Justin.
Coach mentioned that you guys are consistently challenging each other, pushing each other to become better. What does that look like from your guys' standpoint, and how do you guys push each other?
Man, I feel like it all started in January, like when he first got here. Just out there on the winter condition and stuff like that, we would always just be pushing each other, being right next to each other. It's like, I'll beat you on this rep. Or we'd have like a set of 6 and we'll just like challenge each other, be like, I'm 6-0 on this set for sure. And just challenge each other every single day out there on the field, challenge each other to run to the ball, to working on our footwork in the box, outside the box, just so we can, excel at our position.
Yeah, I think like you said, it started in January, but then like as far as this camp, like, we just challenge each other to do the little details. I'm like, hey, Taye, hand placement, or he's like, hey, man, get out the break pad level, anything like that, because at the end of the day, we know that we're going to be a big impact on the defense, you know what I'm saying? So all the little details, that's how we're going to separate ourselves, and get better, because we have to be better than the person we were yesterday, or even better than the person we were last rep, you know what I mean?
Question for both of you guys. I saw that you guys have done backs versus backers blocking drill. Who's the running back that gives you guys the most fits?
Man, that's hard to say. I mean, I feel like we got a deep running back room this year. I feel like we got, all of them, Quincy to Ish to Quincy to Ked. They all great blockers. They're all versatile in their positions. So, I mean, I feel like that's hard to say. They're all great at what they do.
Yeah, that's a hard question right there. I would have to agree with Taye.
Michael.
Chase is in you guys' room now, right? So he's been kind of a pass rusher for most of his career, and now he's doing more traditional linebacker stuff as well. How have you guys tried to help him to learn some of that stuff? And maybe on the flip side of that, has he given you guys any pass rush tips that have been beneficial for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because his forte is pass rush, because he's been doing that, since he's got to college. So like I'm like taking tips from him on how to pass rush, and we're like helping him, because I mean he's a freak athlete. So I mean I feel like stuff just comes to him naturally. I feel like just working on his foot pattern in the box and stuff like that, and his pass drops, and like where to go, and like what to like your mindset should be in the pass drops, and like what routes you could expect in these certain, what I'm saying.
I would say the same thing. Obviously they moved Chase off the ball because, he could do it. So, it's the same thing that I do with Taye, or that Taye does with me, and that we do with each other in the whole linebacker room. Like, we're going to challenge each other to get out the break faster. We're going to challenge each other to foot pattern better, to see the pullers faster. Like, so, Chase is just like another linebacker to me. I don't really necessarily think like, I don't know if he can do this, or I'm confident in everything that Chase can do off the ball. Like you said, he does. He definitely helps me with my pass rush, when we're doing drills and Indy and just anything with the pass rush move. Chase helps a lot with that. So.
We'll finish up with Justin.
Taye, how have you guys, as a defense, as a team, gone about just eliminating what happened last year and focusing on this year?
I feel like our coaches have really like pressed that on us since January, because we didn't have the year we wanted to last year, obviously. So just to flush that last year and just keep attacking and use that as fuel, because we see all the preseason stuff. People got us ranked last in the Big 12, and we just gonna go out there and prove them that we not.
And for both, is there a prototypical or an ideal linebacker in the NFL that you guys observe and watch?
I'll say 2 off the top of my head is I like watching Fred Warner, 49ers. He's one of my favorite linebackers I've been watching for a while now. And another one is Patrick Queen. He's another great linebacker. I just like how fast they play and how physical they play, and like just how savvy they move in the box and how aggressive they play.
I would say the same thing. For me, it's Fred Warner. I think a lot of linebackers that I talk to, their favorite linebacker is Fred Warner. So it's not really I don't have really a hot take, but it's definitely Fred Warner.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.